And I don't know who this is. Susan's iPad.
He's canceling that out.
Oh, okay. We
Three
got
computers
four.
to get on.
Looks like we've got four of us on right now. And Bobby was in the waiting room. I got to admit him again. And James Douglas, I will admit him again. Okay. I'm hoping everybody is on. I got Douglas is muted. Asked to unmute. Hi, Mr. Douglas. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Good, very good. I think everybody is on that I can see on the screen here. So let's call the meeting to order at 5:32.
Do you
And
see Bobby LeMay's trying to connect, Steve?
oh, he is.
I can see it in the top corner there.
Ernest is here. Let me invite Ernest in. Admit he's in. And Bobby's down at the bottom. And I don't see him though.
I see him on our screen. He's right on the top, right by James Douglas.
No, I don't. Oh, maybe. Who's this? Yeah, he's right in the middle. I see him now.
Okay.
They're connecting to audio right now.
Okay.
So, and get Ernest to unmute here. Ernest, can you hear me?
He's muted.
I know he is, and it says on his thing that I have to ask to unmute.
He's on a phone. Is that possible? Doesn't
I don't
sound
know.
right. No, I don't think so. I think it's up to you. He can't mute from a phone. He's not on a computer. How can he possibly mute? That's on you. That's on you somehow.
Huh.
You can't operate software from a telephone. Doesn't work.
I know that.
Well, figure out how to unmute him. He's gone now. Oh, no, he's still there.
No, he's still there.
Yeah, well, you've got to figure out how to unmute him. He's muted on your end. I know software well. It's not on his end. He can't do anything with a cell phone or whatever he's using for a phone.
Huh. Well, let me see here. No, like that. I don't know where I can get that on this screen.
No, because he's been on every time before.
Well, something's different now. Something happened different.
Well, there was a new download from Zoom that came through, and I had to install that. And I don't know. I didn't go in. I didn't have time today to go in and see if all of the settings that I had in there for everybody to participate.
Relax, and just give yourself a minute to think about it. You'll find it. I go through this crap all the time. Software through my brain. Just look, relax, take a minute. It won't hurt anybody. We want Ernest on the. You'll find it. It's in there.
Oh, wait a minute here. There's a little. All right. Let's click that one off. Oh, that didn't happen. See, it has allow participants to unmute themselves. Get rid of that. And the meeting's not locked. And I'm not asking anybody, so I don't know why Ernest. Let me put him back in the waiting room. So I have Ernest back in the waiting room. I'm going to admit him again and admit another person that was 673-7145.
Yeah, they're not muted.
And I know, and Ernest is still, so I don't know what's going on there.
If he can hear you, maybe Ernest could hang up and call back in.
Yeah, that would be. I'd try that. Have him call back in.
Yeah, Ernest, if you can hear me, would you hang up and call back in?
Okay.
Must have been able to hear you.
Yeah. Oh, it's right there up top. This is the PBX, this is the Vega.
Who's the 673 number, Steve?
Don't know yet. I'm going to ask.
Okay.
Hi, we're trying to get the meeting going here. The person that is 673-7145, could you identify yourself for the record?
Yeah, it's Bobby LeMay, but I'm trying to get the video meeting working here.
Oh,
And waiting for you to let me in.
okay. And Cindy's back up in the waiting room, Cindy LeMay, and I'll
Yes,
admit
sure.
her.
There he goes right there. There he goes right here.
Is Cindy, are you hooked up? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Now
Shut
now we
that. Shut
can.
that. Okay.
Okay.
And Ernest isn't here yet. Great. Technology, I love this. There's 3 little dots at the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, and if I click on that, it opens up where I can change what's happening right now. It looks like we have 6 of us. We're all online, and we're all, okay, I haven't started the recording yet. That's good. Let's start it now.
I don't have 7-zip, but I have native.
And Ernest is back, and I'm admitting him.
I see that he's not muted. Maybe it worked.
Yeah, Ernest, can you hear us? Ernest. Well.
Hello?
There you go. Hey, he's
Okay.
back. Hooray.
Now you can hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can.
Okay.
We got you.
We were lost in
Okay.
cyberspace for a minute.
All right. Let's start the excuse me. Start the meeting again. It's now 5:40. I think everybody's hooked up and we're all online. I can see nobody's muted, and I hope everybody can hear us. Introduction of those present. Denise, do you have everybody down for the minutes?
Yes, I do.
All right. Next item up we got is approval of the minutes of August 6th and August 13th.
I make the motion to approve the minutes of August 6th and 13th.
And I'll second that.
Okay, Jerry made the motion, Rick seconded it. Is there any admissions,
Try calling 4070.
corrections, or errors?
I did not see any.
I didn't see any.
All right. I didn't either. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as printed signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. And opposed, no. The ayes have it. The minutes are now official. Next item up is appearances by local citizens and visitors. We got Barry is to talk to us about open meeting law, rate structure of water system billing. And I'll turn it over to you, Barry.
Yes, I want to talk about the open meeting laws. I'm struggling with them because the select board and Denise do not want to comply to them, and they've made that perfectly clear, and it's documented on video and in print. Now, I know that a lot of people in government, in small government, are taking these laws as being frivolous. They are by no means frivolous. And if you go on the state level, they take them very seriously. If you ever go to a court, they take them very seriously. A judge will take them seriously. As a matter of fact, they're taken so serious that you cannot go to court on a small claims for an open meeting law violation. It has to be done in superior court with a jury or a judge overlooking it. They are serious. Now, I have been struggling this for years, and it's come to a head now, and even come to the point where the select board, when I made a complaint, they voted they were going to keep it the same. In other words, they're not going to comply to the laws, because that was one of the conditions, the cure that I wanted. I wanted to have a discussion so the people could take advantage of these laws, which are our constitutional rights, which are being violated allegedly by me and at least 10 complaints in the last few years. They'd like to think, Steve would like you to think, and he voiced this, that I am just a nuisance by doing this. I assure you, I am not a nuisance, and these laws are not going away. As a matter of fact, they're amended every year. What the government and the state and the Secretary of State doesn't want to do is prosecute selectmen for not complying to the law. So they're being patient. They're trying to urge them and educate them. Now, at this point, and initially with the open meeting laws, you could say I inadvertently didn't understand the law. But, we're getting past that now, because I have brought it up 10 times. I brought the laws up. I've brought up statutes. I've brought up quotes from lawyers from the Secretary of State, yet you still continue to not comply. And I just want to let you know I'm not going to stop filing complaints, because we have to pay our taxes, or Denise will send it to a lawyer. We accept that. But when you don't comply to the open meeting laws, and they are laws, believe me, you just have discussed it amongst yourself to make them not important. They are so very important. And now, Steve suggested at the last meeting, which was a complaint meeting, he said, why don't I just compile some information and take it to a trial? I'm going to answer the question why I won't do that at this time. First of all, I already have compiled information on my website. I have 55 videos of meetings. I have videos of every complaint. I have compiled enough information I could easily take you to court, but what would be the sense? I'd have to put up $320 for a filing fee and put in dozens of hours to do a trial. Okay, so I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to file complaints each and every time there's a non-compliance item. Like when you don't be transparent, and you don't answer questions, and you avoid questions. I'm going to continue to do that. I'll tell you why. Because by filing a complaint, first of all, it serves a lot of different purposes. First of all, it forces you to answer to the people. But that's the beauty of the open meeting laws. Before it was, we say what we say goes. And Denise and Barrett would love to keep it that way. What we say goes, don't talk back to us, behave yourself. And, kind of stuff like that, like behave yourself. No. I don't behave myself. You are a public servant. You're supposed to serve the people, be accountable at all times, First Amendment. But that is gone now. So that's why I continue, and I will continue with the complaints. Now, I want to reiterate, a complaint never involves monetary damages. All it does is force the select board to comply. And if you ever do go to court And the fact that you go to court, a judge immediately takes that into consideration. This person is not suing, is not going to make any money. They are suing because they're not happy with the way these people are running the government. So let's hear the case. That's your disadvantage. And they don't like it. They don't like it that you're not complying. And when I know you people think you're really doing something when you, I'll second the motion. Rick goes and said, no wrongdoing. You say that like 10 times. No wrongdoing, no wrongdoing, no wrongdoing, no wrongdoing, no wrongdoing. And then a judge looks at it and says, gee, this makes sense. So what you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot, and you are building a case against yourself. So, okay, let's go on. Let's move on. Now I want to talk about Jerry Waterman. Now, as you may know, I have a swamp in my backyard because a culvert broke, and Jerry decided to fabricate his own law. He says it's not on the right of way of the town. I want to ask Jerry, I want to ask Steve, and I want to ask Rick. Did you read the complaint? Because in that complaint, I included a law that makes you liable for a culvert, even if it's 100 years old. You're liable to fix it. And you can go to court and you can sue the town to fix it. And the maximum, they will give you up to $70,000 to fix it. So I'll tell you what, we now have a small claims court coming up because I bought $200 worth of planks to cover an 8-foot diameter by 4-foot deep hole next to a playground with kids running around. I did not want to be liable. But Steve said, my wife, who's a legal expert in Boston, paralegal for 20 years. She knows laws inside and out. She knows the laws better than your lawyer. Okay, she said, if they come after us for liability, they're going to go after the town. You don't think they'll figure out that the town has deeper pockets than I do? And she claims that she's seen hundreds of cases where lawyers sue 10 people on liability, anybody who's remotely involved. So I did that. I actually saved the town from liability. There was 10 kids running around one day. I told you this. They were running right past this hole. It's 4 foot deep with a 3 foot in diameter steel pipe. And, we said, my wife and I said, no, if a kid falls in there, he can get seriously hurt. So I bought planks and I said, I'd like $200 for that back. And so Jerry, he said, well, it's not the right of way of the town. Well, let me tell you something about that. So they're going to fight it in small claims court. Now check this out. It's going to cost $1,000 for them to fight to not pay $200. Jerry, that was brilliant business. Now, I want to tell you now, if after the small claims, if the culvert is still not fixed, I'll take it to a trial, and then I will try to get the money. What I'll do is, I'll tell you exactly what I'll do. I shouldn't do this. But I'll go and I'll get an estimate from an excavator. I'll get an estimate to whoever puts the pipe in, and I'll take that amount and I'll bring it to small claims court. Now, what you've done, Jerry, is you're going to small claims court, and I'm like 90% sure I'm going to win that, but I don't really care. Then, after that, we go to Superior Court. And let me tell you, Jenny Prosser weighed in on that, and she showed me the laws. A lot of small towns have tried to get on with this, and none of them have won. Not a one. It's just they don't want to spend the money. We understand that. You don't want to increase your taxes, but would you rather spend $40,000 to fight it and still lose? So the choice is yours. It would only take you to say, Mike, fix the culvert, and it would be over. But no, Steve wants to fight. You want to fight? I don't think anyone would disagree with a swamp in their backyard when you have an obligation to fix it, would not go to court. And you're going to say, oh, he's bothering us and bring us to court. And another great famous scapegoating trick of Steve Barrett is the town's going to go broke because he's still suing us and we have to legally fight back. You don't have to legally fight back. Mike, fix the culvert would end it, but you won't do it. And I'll tell you, if you think I'm bluffing, I'm finished.
Okay. Is that it, Barry? That's all you want?
That's all.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, no thanks to you. Don't thank me. Don't thank me. It's an insult. Thank you very much. Please give me a break. My wife wants to speak. Do you mind?
No, just 1 second.
Once.
It's not about the compensatory $200. That has very little to do.
See, they can't hear you. Please come closer. Please come closer.
It's not about
wait, speak right.
compensatory $200. It's about who's responsible. But the fact is, we know we're not responsible, but the fact is this is going to become a very serious problem. Maybe not today. Pay me now, pay me later. It's going to be one of those things.
It's not going away.
That's all.
It is not going away.
It.
Already 3 people have flooded cellars and are suffering damages. And that 8-foot diameter came from a 2-foot diameter in 2016. And I have a video, if you've ever seen it, with a gusher coming out of the ground 3 feet in the air during a storm. This is bad. We don't comply. We do not. We neglect our duty. That's what you're doing. Neglect of duty, non-compliance, and I'm fighting this one to the bitter end. I don't want a swamp to devaluate my property. Already Hasselton and the other, I don't know, Core or something, they have flooded cellars. They're putting this up for years. We're not going to comply. Jerry says it's not on. It's not on the. I'm not finished. Don't shut me up. I'll be finished in a second. I have a lot to say. I'm angry. Yes, I'm angry. Who wouldn't be? I'm done. And I'm not nice. Yeah. I have reason. I'm angry. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to take legal issue. I'm going to take it to the very end until this is fixed. It's not going away. It'll only get worse. So, genius, take the floor back.
You've made that clear to everybody on the screen.
Oh yeah, they hate me for it. Okay, see what would happen if it happened in their yard.
Thank you. Moving on in the agenda, we have the water, sewer. I'm sorry, let's back up a minute. Is there anyone else under appearances by local citizens that are here that would like to say something? I mean, I just skipped over all you guys. James, you're on the, Sarah, you're on the, LeMays are on. The only one to be is Bob Best. Do you want to say anything, Bob, or you all set?
No, I will hold my tongue.
Okay, thank you. Now, moving on the agenda to the water, sewer, solar panel report. Update on the Douglas well. I can give you a little heads up, Jim, or is it James? Would you like to be called James or Jim or Mr. Douglas? You're muted. You're muted, there we go.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
James is fine. Thank you.
Okay, I will do that. What we did was I had Mike, the water and sewer commissioner, look to see if the state regs on the footage around the well was still the same, and I believe it is 200 feet. Mike's going to speak to the other concerns on that, and we were also putting together a asset list or asset management plan so that we could get some figures for our rate structure. And we've been allowed to develop the rate structure without that asset management plan being in place because of the COVID thing. So I just wanted to say that there's one step further to put a rate structure together on that part of it. But I'll let Mike talk about the land around the well and what he perceives that we're going to need moving forward. And we'll see if you're in agreement with that, Jim. And okay, Mike, would you like to?
just the 200-foot radius is roughly just under 3 acres from my calculations. Might be wrong, but, and I would think that the town, being that the wells have a consistency of running dry, would want to have the option of being able to drill another well in that proximity in the future, and it would be wise to maybe purchase maybe 5 acres so we could get a little bit away from that one, or something to that effect. It all kind of depends on how you want to divide your land up. If you just want to sell us a circle size piece or half moon size piece, or an actual square chunk, so that the land is more saleable for the rest of it.
Right. I hadn't thought about that, Mike. I would think a square chunk would make more sense than a half. When you say half moon, you mean like from the road and just making a half
We are
circle?
roughly 200 feet from the road to where the well is, and so that would be our 200 feet in that direction. So we'd really only need 200 feet in a moon shape on your property, roughly.
Yeah, I see.
Maybe even a 3/4 moon, depending on where the pins are.
But a square one would be better, probably.
I would think a nice square chunk that would, however, I don't know what your plans for your land in the future are, if you're going to divide it or leave it whole. I just, it kind of, whatever you want. And then
Sure.
got to see what the water board thinks. But
Okay. I would think, I mean, I haven't talked to my family yet, but I would think that a square subdivision would make more sense for you and for me, because it'd be really hard to get a half circle defined, right?
yes,
So that would be, I think I'd like to follow your guidance there. I think that makes sense. And whether it's a 3 or 5 acre parcel, I guess we don't care. I follow your logic. That would give you the option to drill another well if you needed to. And then we wouldn't have to do this in 10 years, right?
Right.
absolutely.
Right. I think that's a wise thing. So, your family is probably in agreement to selling the town a piece of property?
We are open to hearing what your offer might be for that. Yes.
Okay. So we'll put together, and the way I see I don't know if you probably can't see that. Our parcel is kind of like just a little sublet into yours. And by looking at the tax map, I thought maybe if we just took out one corner, which encompassed the reservoir, the well, and maybe some additional space. We need to find out how many acres that is, and then get back to you and find out, what you want per acre. If we want to do it like that, or maybe something like what we did in the past, tax credit, that could be done too. Whatever for that piece of property. So we haven't done that yet. We wanted to just kind of get an idea of what we wanted to do. Mike did go to the state and found out that what we needed for land around the well and a future well. So can we get some numbers on acreage together? And at that point, we would have to have a executive meeting, sit down and discuss what you'd like to do for value on that piece of property.
Yeah, and I think it would be, of course, my mother owns the land. I'm representing her right now.
Okay.
And I think what we would prefer would be an actual purchase of the land. As we made clear last time, so far we have my dad, the Douglas family, has accepted no money in payment for water. We established that last time. But I think this time it would be purchasing the land would be the most likely scenario.
Okay. That works.
Okay.
All right.
And then I don't know, you just referred to, is there some kind of portion of the right of way the town owns now? Is that what you're talking, like from the center of the road, maybe?
The town owns that parcel that's inside of your parcel.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that belongs to us, but below our parcel, you have, I don't know, I think it's a 3-foot strip of land. Makes absolutely no sense. Yeah. And then
It's 180 feet.
obviously behind us, where the well is drilled on your property. So it would make more sense if that was just squared off that corner to me. That 3-foot strip of land below us makes no sense, just the way it came out. So
It's actually 160 feet, Steve.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was narrower than that.
No, it's 100. I'm looking at the tax map right now. It's 160 feet.
Okay.
So that's a 160-foot strip below the town land that we own?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you send me, either scan to me or mail me a copy of that map? I don't have one here.
Yeah, I can scan and email it to you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. And then once we find out the acreage that's involved, we need to have another meeting.
Good.
Okay. Mike, you have anything else on that for James?
I'm good with that.
Okay, good.
So maybe we can have that together by the October meeting?
That's what I'd like to do, if we can. Move on this. Like anything in government, it takes long.
So James, our next meeting is going to be October 1st. So
Is that
Okay.
too soon? Is that too soon, Denise?
no, not for me. No, I was just letting James know.
Okay. So October 1st?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I know sometimes when the Thursday falls on the beginning of the month, and if people can't get their bills in to us to be paid, we postpone it till the next Thursday.
Yeah.
That's what that conversation was just about.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to end that part, and we'll go over to Robert LeMay, water concerns I see on the agenda. Mr. LeMay? I'm sorry, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself? No, it says ask to unmute. Oh.
Okay, unmuted now.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Okay, so I left some samples of my water up there with Denise. You guys all get a chance to take a look at them, maybe have a little drink.
I did stop on my way down here.
What'd you think of those beauties?
This morning at 7:30, and I looked at those 3 bottles of water.
Yeah, I've got about 50 more, and all different shades of the mud pit that they call my water that I can't drink. Can't even water the garden with it. We buy all our water for consumption, and I really don't even care to shower in it very much, but that doesn't stop the water bill from coming. That's more than my taxes, and I just had to pay it on Monday because I was threatened with tax sale for not paying for water that I can't drink. I mean, my water's been bad for a long time, and the chlorine is the least of my concerns, which is also, it smells like a shower in Manhattan. I live in freaking Newport Center, Vermont. I should have water that I can drink. I shouldn't have to run it through a freaking coffee filter, and then boil it to be able to water my garden with it. Where do I go from here? Who's going to compensate me for every week I have to buy 5 4-gallon jugs at the grocery store for the water, bubbler, and then cases upon cases upon cases of bottled water for us to drink.
Right, me too.
And to cook with. I mean, it's disgusting. You've seen it. You tell me you would drink that water.
Well,
Denise, you're there. You have the bottles. Hold a couple up.
no, Denise has them at the town clerk's office.
Yeah, she's at the town clerk's office.
I do not have them here with me.
Oh,
that one.
he asked me to hold them up.
Yeah, hold that up and hold up the other one. Give it a nice little shake so we can see it settled. Now, look at the bottom of that. Now give it a shake. That one. That's pretty common. Would you want to drink that?
Don't worry,
No.
you'll be compensated by the water bill doubling in a couple of months. That'll be your compensation.
Yeah.
So, Mr. LeMay, you're
Yeah.
not the only one on that water line.
I know Claude's on the water line, and I don't think his is on, and Henry's on the water line, and I know his is not on. And Dave bitches about it all the time, but after he bitched about the road and you guys came up and Jerry turned his back on him, wouldn't even look at him.
Rude, wouldn't even look at him,
You
turn
know,
his back on
Dave
him,
won't,
wouldn't even talk to
Dave
me.
wouldn't participate in this meeting because he said, what's the point? They don't listen to me. He said, he treated me like shit the last time. They don't give a shit about me even getting out of my house in case of a fire because of all the mud in my driveway. So what are they going to care about the water? Dave said it's the most disgusting thing in the world. You know?
Well, there is a curb stop that is in the system that's between our line, the town's line, and your house. And from the curb stop to your house is your responsibility.
I already fixed that once when you guys broke it at the T across the road and I had to pay Kuchers a fortune to come and fix that line. So you're talking 50 feet of 1-inch PVC underground pipe that goes from your curb stop to my house. You can't tell me that mud is coming from that 50 feet of line.
I don't know.
I do know. I'm telling you it doesn't. If I turn the water on, I was told turn the outside hose on and let it run. So
Well, I
I did.
understand. I'm not denying that that's what you're getting out of your water.
But I've
your
been
taps.
complaining about it for a long time. Like nothing's getting done. And anytime, heaven forbid, they turn on a fucking fire, the fire hydrant down there, it runs black for 2 days.
Just remember, this is being recorded, so the language needs to.
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. I apologize.
Okay.
Don't apologize. It's okay.
Well,
When you're this angry, when you're being shit on, it happens.
Where does he live?
So I don't know where it's coming from.
I do. Your water.
No one else has that problem.
There's no one else up that hill. Me, Henry, and Claude. Claude and Henry's houses are both condemned. They don't even have the water turned on as far as I know. I know Henry does not have his water on. So I assume I'm getting all the shit end of the stick on that end of the water line because Dave said his water's yellow too. So if Dave's got it and I've got it, I mean, we're the only two. That's it. I don't know about Claude. Who knows? You go down and check Claude's water. His water's not my concern. My water's my concern. My water in that $1,400 threatening letter for tax sale for shit water that I can't drink. That's my concern. The water bill.
My
tell
garden.
him.
I can't water my garden. I get it.
The
I
plants
started
die.
watering my
Flowers.
my flowers outside, and it bleached them out. It made them fade. I had to stop watering it with your town water and started using filtered water to water my garden and my outdoor plants because the bleach fades my flowers.
We had to collect water from in a rain barrel to give to the pets because they won't even drink the chlorine in the mud water. I don't blame them.
Go to the state. I can help you. Give me a call. I can get you state help. Don't bother with them. They're going to do nothing.
I've got tons and tons of bottles of this mud.
I can help you. Give me a call. I can get you. I can get some people in the state level to help you. I deal with them all the time. Don't bother arguing. You're not getting anywhere.
Vince Aluzzi told me the same thing. I was just trying to resolve this in the town. Like the water bill never stops coming, and when I stop paying it, they threaten to sell my house. Happens every year. Why? Because I don't pay my water bill all year long because I'm pissed about brown water. Every day I get up, I turn on flush the toilet, and it looks like somebody already pissed in it. You have to leave the water running for hours to even get something that's like remotely not yellow.
And then it smells like chlorine.
And then it smells like chlorine, and then you think you were in Manhattan Hotel.
We live in the country.
I live in the country.
We should be able to have country water, fresh country water, not smelling like chlorine anytime you open up the tap.
You know, and then they want to meter it and charge me more for water I can't drink.
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing this to the select board's attention.
Can I make a comment?
Mike is listening
Can I
to
make a
this.
comment?
Yeah, Ernest, yes.
Yeah. Hey, We use a lot of town water. We got 22,000 that I pay, and we've never had any complaints of town water.
Well, great.
Everybody
Come on
that
over to my house and I'll give you a big old bottle.
let me finish. So it's not coming out of the well. It's not coming out because we are getting perfect water. And keep in mind, we have 22 different people uses the apartment houses that uses that water, and we've had no complaints whatsoever. So it's got to be somewhere in the line that it's leaking or something. So I would recommend that you try to solve it, but it's not coming from the town water because the water we're
am I
using
pouring
is excellent.
chlorine into my own spout?
What's that?
How am I getting chlorine and dirt into my thing are you telling me it's my fault that I'm getting dirt and stuff from the town water?
It's not coming from the town water.
Ernest, thank you
Yeah.
for saying that. And Cindy, thank you. You've brought it to the town's attention. We are going to look into it. We have some samples at the town clerk's office. Those samples can be sent out to see what that material is that's in that water. Right here on this meeting tonight, nothing's going to get handled. So you need to let us send the samples out, see what's in
But I
there.
don't need somebody telling me that I'm the cause of this problem.
No,
I've been living there for 20 plus years without any problems, we pay our taxes, we pay our water, we do everything right. And then we have attitude from you guys saying that it's our problem that we can't use our water. Why is it our problem that we have chlorine smell? We live in the country. We should have the water that I can just drink out of the tap. I shouldn't have to put water in a container and let it seep out the chlorine
That is
we had to
correct.
read up on it. It takes at least 4 days to seep out of the water so I can use it to water my garden. This is
Absolutely.
something I'm supposed to do I'm supposed to lug water all the time. I have my 60-plus-year-old mother filling up 4-gallon waters for me at her home to bring to me. Okay, I see you got irritated look on your face, buddy. I don't know who you are or why you think I'm a bitch, but I am tired of crappy water. I'm tired of on Christmas Eve, I had to wash my entire tub, toilet, and sink all over again because I was hosting Christmas and I had everything clean, but you guys did something to the water and all that mud water came into our house and I had to scrub everything on Christmas Eve. Do you want your wife to scrub the tub before Christmas instead of baking pies and making cookies and wrapping presents? Do you want her doing that? Is that fun for her? Sir, do you have an answer for me? Or are you just going to look at me like I'm...
No, I'm not.
Cindy, can I say something?
No,
Cindy, the person that was talking was not Steve Vera. That was Ernest.
Why was he even in on this conversation? Why was he even have anything to say to me?
He had a comment. It's a public meeting, so anyone can weigh in. But it definitely 100% wasn't Steve that was saying that, or Jerry or Rick. It wasn't the select board that said that. That was Ernest Choquette that said that. I just don't want you to misunderstand that it was one of the select board members.
The select board has your samples. We've heard your concern. We are going to look into it. And as I
I
stated,
would like to get those samples tested. And I also, when this happened right after I got my brand new hot water heater, I was told that you were going to send somebody to get it cleaned. I bought a brand new hot water heater. You guys were scheduled to turn off the water at 8 o'clock that morning. I usually turn off all my valves inside, and then they cut the water off at 7 o'clock and ran a bunch of mud through my brand spanking new hot water tank. I got a hybrid hot water heater. It was brand new. Not a 2 weeks after I got it, we ran about, I don't know how many gallons of that mud sludge through it. So I'm sure it's ruined. You know, who's going to fix that?
we need to identify where your problem is coming from. Currently, we have the samples of water. We'll send them out and see what that is, what those samples entail. You know, they can tell in a lab whether it's groundwater, whether it's a community's water system, and then we can move forward from there. I can't tell you what we're going to do right now because we don't know. Can you bear with us?
Do I have a choice?
Okay.
Hot water tank. When can we get the hot water tank cleaned? Because that thing's just gonna die. So how about getting that and getting someone over there to fix the pipe they broke when they put the your freaking water meter in. They put the water meter in and he cracked the pipe and it was misting in the basement. I went downstairs, my basement's all wet. It was coming out like fine spray. So I wrapped a clamp with a piece of rubber around it and it's not leaking, but they broke that. And ever since they put the water meter in, my pipes bang in the whole house. When you run if you're running the dishwasher or use the sprayer at the sink, the whole thing, you can hear bang, 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 bang. That never happened before that water meter was put in, which Mike says doesn't work.
And I'm under the impression also that you won't allow our water commissioner in to inspect.
Because he's not a professional, and I do not want him in my home.
Mike's not nice to my wife. They've had history of him being mean. He's been shitty to me. He treats me like I'm a piece of shit. I install systems way more expensive than that. I read all the cut sheets about it. I know everything there is to know about your water system. I'm perfectly capable of testing. I tested. I told him the battery's no good. It's factory installed, needs to be replaced. He said, can I come in? I said, no. Show me that you've been tested for COVID. And then my wife said, no, I don't want him in the house anyway. So you can send a professional in to do it. If they want, I'm telling you what's wrong with it. The battery doesn't work because I get no response from it from the solar panel. The meter does not come on. And then Mike threatened me with the cops. I'll bring the cops and bring them over. But Mike tries to come into my house, there's going to be a serious problem.
Yes, there will be.
Thank you very much
Right.
for the information that you've given us. I appreciate that.
So what is going to be done about it, though? Nothing? I'm going to have to come to this next meeting.
No, we have told you that we're going to send those samples out, see what and identify what they are, and then we will get back to you.
When? What about time frame?
When the samples come back and we have that information.
Where are the samples going?
They go to the state of Vermont, Montpelier.
Steve, if I may say something.
Yes, Mike.
How about I take some samples from an outside spigot over there and we test his water, because this water could have come from anywhere. He likes to make accusations.
That water came from my house. I've got videos of it. I tell you what, I'll send you the videos of my faucets with that water coming out of it. Will that help too, Denise?
I got to deal with this. My son was up in the middle of the night and took a water sample and left it on the sink for me. Are you kidding me, Mike? Are you?
I'm not sending.
Do not even come to my home. Denise, do not send that man to my home. I do not want him anywhere near my home.
Thank you
I've been living there for
20 years.
Over 20 years. Over 20 years, and I get treated like that, and saying that the sample could be from anywhere. Are you kidding me?
We come to the town meeting and tell you the truth, and then he sits there and tells us we're lying and we're collecting it out of a mud puddle. And I've got videos of this coming out of my faucet with the exact filter that no, but Mike's sitting there calling me a liar, and then you wonder why I don't want him in my house. That smug bastard sitting there.
He did not in my home. Do not send him to my home ever, ever, ever. This is me saying, do not ever send him to my home.
Thank you very much.
Cindy?
What, Denise?
Can I come and get a sample? The only reason I'm asking that is because I don't know I know when we send our samples in, there's a shelf life. There's a shelf life as to how accurate the sample will be.
Schedule when Mike plans on putting mud in our spigot again?
No, I would just go get one anytime.
How do I know? When am I? I'll call you the next time. I'll call you at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's all mud and smelling like chlorine. Is that what you want, Denise? You want to be on call when my water
You
starts
send those
messing
samples
up?
in. I've got plenty of videos of me getting that water out of my kitchen sink. So I don't care what Mike says.
Look at him sitting there with
Look,
his arms
go to the
crossed.
state. Go to the state, and they'll listen to you. Go to the state.
Like I said,
Call me. I'll give you addresses. They will listen to you.
Water coming out of. You take this over there.
You're not getting anywhere.
I
Go
know,
to the
it's like,
state.
I
Go
would be better
to
off-
the Secretary of State. I'll give you some numbers to call. They'll listen to you.
I'm going.
You're not
to.
getting anywhere.
We
know.
need to
And then
move
Mike
on
break
in
up
this
his-
meeting. All we're doing is arguing amongst yourselves.
Lying about it. Like, who the hell is he to say I'm lying about it? I'm not lying.
No, we
about
didn't.
my water.
We did not.
Mike did.
Man, we did not say.
My number is 487-7711. Give me a call. I can get you some help from the state, and you'll feel much better. Trust me.
Okay, so now where are we going? Now we're going to move on and argue about the road, because there's solution to that. Let's wait and go officially move to that minute.
We can send that.
No, we have people waiting on this agenda for times.
Well, I'm still on this agenda for the road, so.
Well, when it comes back to roads, we will come back to you.
It says 610 road.
Yes. Well, you've taken more time than what you should have under water and sewer. We've heard your complaints. We're going to try to move forward on that.
Yeah. Well, try to give me back my $1,400 that I just paid for my water bill.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming to the meeting.
I don't believe that, but okay.
Just remember, everything is being recorded. So when you say things like that, that's not nice. Thank you.
It's not nice. No, neither is telling me I'm lying about where I got the water.
Yes, I can.
No one's eyed the select board, and I did not hear Mike say that.
Mike, did you say that?
Thank you. Moving on the agenda,
Then you can't
under
talk.
the water and sewer and solar panel report, I'm sorry, road commissioner's report.
We're not done with water and sewer.
Oh, I thought we were.
No.
Okay. What else we got? Mike?
Oh, we're good.
Okay, we're all set.
Oh, okay. I didn't see anything else on the agenda that I had here.
Okay.
So moving on to road commissioner's report. We then have again Mr. LeMay with concerns with Bergeron Hill. And what are your concerns?
That the water washes out in front of our driveway, between our driveway and the road every single time it rains. Bobby, it's road. We're onto the road now.
Well, what do you want to know about the road? We got 2 people live on this side of the road that gets flooded out and washed out every rainstorm. You can welcome go up there and look at it right now, because they keep telling me the road is crowned. I have put a transit on the road and proved that it's higher on the other side where the ditch is. So my road gets washed out. I have 4-wheel drive, so whatever. You know, it sucks. But Dave's gets flooded out. His driveway's full of mud all the time. The wood shop is flooded out. There's a ditch on the other side of the road that Claude lives on. Why can't they just bank the road to the ditch? You're talking about 100 yards. The only people who live on that road are Henry and myself. We don't care. Mike's answer was, if you bank the road towards the ditch, everybody's going to go off the road in the winter. Well, there's nobody up there in the winter. There's me and Henry Bergeron, and Henry already said he doesn't care. So they want to dig a ditch from my property, the beginning of my property, up by Raboyne's and Henry's, dig a ditch all the way down my backyard, put a culvert under 40 feet of driveway, dig a ditch from my culvert all the way down to Dave's, cut down all his trees, dig a ditch and put a culvert under his driveway, and dig a ditch all the way to the main road. When you're talking 2 people, how hard would it be just to try it? Just to try it. Go up there and just bank that road to the ditch that already exists. And Problem solved. No more washout in my driveway. I had to stay mat my whole driveway because it just floods. It digs. Right now I got a ditch that deep, that wide, the whole length of my driveway. I just had to replace, tomorrow, I got to replace a coil spring in my wife's car because it broke going through that ditch. My daughter's car has had problems going through that ditch. I got a big truck, so whatever. But I'm the only one that lives on that hill, me and Henry. It's not like there's a slew of traffic. The only people that go up that road are out-of-staters that are lost looking for the freaking covered bridge. So who cares about them? And it's not, he said everyone's going to go off the road in the winter. Who's going to go off the road in the winter? We all have studded hot completed tires. Henry's got a 4-wheel drive. The simplest and cheapest solution to fix this problem and to make me happy and to Dave's in a wheelchair. When it rains, he can't even get from his trailer to his wood shop without shoveling the silt and the mud and the gravel. And Waterman's been there. I think you were there too when we were complaining about it. And then you guys, or Waterman tried to tell me that Dave paved his driveway lower than the road. Well, when Dave paved his driveway, it was 3 or 4 inches above that road. And over the years, they keep adding dirt and adding dirt and adding dirt. And that dirt just ends up washing down into his driveway. It shouldn't be that way. We're the only ones on that hill. Just bank the hill to the ditch. How hard is that? You're not talking 3 feet. You're talking just put the road into the ditch that's already there on Claude's side of the road. There's already a ditch there. Why would you want to spend all that money to put culverts in and ditches and all that? Just bank the road towards the existing ditch.
The roads are controlled by the road commissioner in this town. He knows what needs to be done.
Yeah, and his solution, put a ditch and a culvert, 40-foot culvert across my driveway and Dave's in a ditch from my top of my property all the way to the main road.
How we keep water from washing out the town's road is with ditching and culverts.
There's already a ditch on the opposite side of the road. Big one.
I am not the road commissioner. I am a select person. Who's
the road commissioner?
Mike Bayraw.
I know. There we go. Because Mike's solution was to put a freaking 60-foot ditch down my whole property and across my brand new driveway, dig it all up, put a culvert in, dig up Dave's pavement, put a culvert in, and put a ditch all the way down that side of the road. When they already got a ditch. Before they do that, just put the water in the ditch that exists. How hard is that?
Bob, can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
We were there looking at developing a grant, me and Sarah Damsdale.
Yeah, I remember.
And there was no plans made to do anything. We were just looking to make improvements.
But that wouldn't be an improvement. Okay, go ahead.
Excuse me. Mr. LeMay, when someone's talking, do not interrupt them, please. Mike?
We were just looking at developing and making the road better to stop erosion. And you just cut down every idea that we throw out because you're set on sloping the road to the existing ditch rather than crowning a road and having the water shed equally. I don't know what to tell you. The state has looked at it. The state said what we had in place was good. I haven't touched the road this summer because there's no making you happy. The road is held up just fine. Henry hasn't complained he can't get home. You haven't made any phone calls to me or the garage complaining you can't get in your driveway. So I really don't know what to tell you.
Can I speak now? Drive up there right now and look at the ditch that's in my driveway.
I went up through this morning.
Yeah, do you see it? This deep? The whole length of 2/3 of my driveway is washed out, and it's down in Dave's in the wood shop.
Some of my options would take care of that. And I wasn't looking at putting a culvert or doing any of that work anytime soon because it was only going to be persistent. It was only going to be on grant money if we were allowed allotted a grant to do it because that's a lot of money.
Why can't the solution just be the cheapest? If you don't care about the road, you already told me you didn't care. You said you just assume give us the road to take care of. Why don't you just bank the road to the ditch and try it and see what happens? I think the problem is that you guys are afraid it's going to wash out the culvert that you have trouble with down in front of Claude's.
I'm not afraid of that, Bob.
Just do the cheap try the simple solution then. Please, just try it. Just bank the road to the ditch.
I've never heard of a road being made that way. I will try
But
to
right
get some
now,
state techs out here to look at it with me.
can you come out with a transit? And that road is higher on Claude's side than it is on my side. It might be crowned, but it's crowned like this.
Bob, in the state of Vermont, we have gravel roads. Grading it's an art, it's not a science. Roads don't always come out perfect. Sometimes the crown is not centered. It's just a part of life in Vermont.
All right, we need to move on.
Get your state people out there to look at it, see.
So nothing, basically nothing. Back right where I started with nothing.
Just tell me you're gonna get state guys out there.
Mike's aware of it, and he's looking into it. And Sarah Damsel is with us this evening, and I think to report on inventory and stuff. So
Mike did say that he was gonna get the state guys out there.
okay.
I've got one coming Tuesday. We'll look at it. 8 o'clock.
Okay. Did you hear that, Bob?
Yeah, Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Great, but I have a job, so I mean, a waste.
Well, we don't really need you there.
That's not like you listen to me when I'm there anyway, Mike. You know, I tried to get along with you because you and your dad and I disagreed so much, but you're just treat me like you're just arrogant to me, and you treat me like I'm an asshole. And
I've never been nothing but polite to you.
That's not true, Mike.
It is. I bring witnesses when I talk to you.
Guys,
we need to end
we need to stop arguing amongst ourselves. This is a public meeting. It is being recorded.
Well, who do I argue with then? Because these are concerns I've had for years.
Arguing doesn't get it done. Bringing the facts forward, which you have done, is where it starts. Sitting here and arguing back and forth.
I agree. It doesn't get anything done, but I feel that it's also
it is not going to get handled here. Thank you. I'd like to move on to in the road commissioner's report to Sarah. You've been waiting patiently and listening to all of our residents. You are muted, Sarah. You can't get it off. Ask to unmute. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's funny. Sometimes Zoom calls, the hosts have to do that, and other times they don't have to. So, yeah, so I just wanted to attend the meeting today just to give you all an update on the work that Mike and I have been doing in relation to the road erosion inventory, preparing the town to be compliant with the municipal roads general permit.
Mm-hmm.
So we essentially looked at, let me get my sheet up on my computer here. We looked at all of the data from last year, and as we were out in the field inventorying, we made notes of what was high priority, and then also the data aggregates and tells us what's high priority as far as needing to meet the municipal roads general permit. So Mike and I looked at, I forget what our original list was. There was probably 20 different areas or so, maybe 15. And we boiled that down to a few areas in town that kind of came up to the top that met Mike's priorities and also met the priorities for meeting the general permit. So we looked at the Farrar Road, a couple different sections of the Farrar Road, the Kittredge and the Tatra Road, Lake Road, a section out on Lake Road where it goes from pavement to dirt, like kind of far out there, out by the Maxwell Field Road or Max's Field Road or something out in that area. And then we looked at two different areas on the Buzzell Road. And actually the Buzzell Road, the projects and the work that Mike is hoping to do essentially addresses the entire Buzzell Road. So we spent some time just walking the roads, looking at what would be needed, and then putting together estimated budgets for all of those particular projects, and then looking at how much the town would have to outlay and cash match for those projects. So I put all of that together for Mike in spreadsheets, and then I put all of the projects. I made a, I actually can show you guys if you're interested. Oh, the host has to let me share my screen. I don't, if you want me to. Do you know how to do that, Steve?
No, I don't.
That's okay. There's probably some button.
I'm learning this. If someone wants a screen shared, I could learn that for the next meeting.
So anyway, I could show you, or I'm going to show Mike, but it's essentially 4 pages. There's a description of what the issue is, why it doesn't meet the general permit, some photos, some maps, and then we made some sketches of what the layout is of the project, and then it includes the budget. And so I'm going to give all of that stuff to Mike and Denise. And Mike, I actually can't meet with you tomorrow. Sorry, I was going to tell you that today, but I was hoping to find a time to meet with both of you next week to go over this information, and then work with Denise to submit the final report for the grant to the state. Let's see if there's anything else that I felt important to tell you. Mike already knows this, but there are a couple lingering things that I wasn't able to get to, kind of maxed out on our contract at this point, but I did start the wheels going for a couple culvert replacements on the Buzzell Road and on the Tatro Road. And Mike, I can get you up to speed. You probably saw my long list of emails I've been sending you, but essentially, when looking at culverts, the first thing that you have to do is you have to get a hydraulic study done, either by VTrans or by the Department of Environmental Conservation, the river scientists, to make sure that the new pipe that goes in meets the current standards. And essentially, if a pipe is draining an area less than a quarter square mile, it has to be a certain size. So we did do that. And then also, ideally, that size would pass fish, because the state is now really focused on making sure that those new culverts accommodate fish, as well as address erosion, as well as address river morphology. So there's a lot of things that Mike has to consider when doing that work. But I did start to reach out to the biologists cover Newport Center to see if there's any concern for fish passage in these areas that we're looking to do work. And so I've started to engage those folks, and they do think that they're likely healthy fishery out there. So I think, I don't know, Mike, what date you guys have decided on, but I think next week a fish biologist is going to meet with Mike and the VTrans person that's helping Mike design those culverts, just to ensure that, whatever design ends up going in there, that fish are going to be able to go up a river and spawn. It's all about, their spawning habitat. Mm-hmm. And for that, if the fish biologist does think that there is a healthy fisheries there, there's additional funding. And that's partly why I reached out, because I knew that there would be additional funding available. So I don't know what that budget would look like for those projects yet, if Dan or whatever contractor Mike decides to go with has kind of gotten into a ballpark there. But it's likely that they could be expensive. And so this additional funding could help make those projects happen.
Great.
Let me see if there's anything on my list. So,
did you say, sir? Excuse me, sir. Did you say that you have maxed out your contract with us?
Yeah, I'm pretty much maxed out. That's why I was multitasking on the other part of the meeting. I was doing something else.
And I think Mike would like to continue, right, Mike, with Sarah?
Yes. She's a great asset to get these grants in motion.
All right. So maybe we need to sit down and put something together to keep Sarah still on the Newport Center rolls here.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I have the capacity to do that. And I feel like at this point, I'm pretty deep in on these projects. So I can definitely help. The project summaries that I'm going to give to Mike next week essentially will be grant applications. So I've tried to make that pretty easy so that he can just submit those summaries. But, there'll be something that will have to be sorted out, I'm sure, when those grants are announced. And I believe the grants will be announced in October. So there could be another round of activity for Mike and I in October to get those grants together. And then I think also continuing as needed with these culvert projects. And that funding that comes from Fish and Wildlife actually comes through the Conservation District. I have a cooperative agreement with them. And so that funding will come directly from me. So I'll continue to work with Mike on that if the fisheries biologists feel like it's a priority for them. So that's great. I'll let you figure out how you want to do that, or if you want me to draft something, or
we would like that. If you would put together something, either we can continue your contract that we have with you now, or put together a whole nother one that we can review.
Okay, I can do that and submit it for the next meeting, or what do you feel for that?
Is that
okay?
Fine for October 1st? Can you have that ready for us then?
I can.
Okay. Denise?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, fine. Mike, is that in agreement?
Yes.
And Rick and Jerry, do you have any problem with that?
Nope, none, nope.
Okay, good. Sounds like we're all on the same page right now. We'll look at your contract when you present it forward.
Okay, thanks a lot. And Denise and Mike, I'll reach out to you for what your availability is for next week.
Cool.
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thanks guys.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
You too. See you. Bye.
You're welcome to stay if you'd like.
Oh, thanks.
She's had enough.
Good night.
Right.
All right, so moving on the road commissioner's report. Mike, do we have anything more?
Nothing real. A lot of stuff with her in the last few weeks. Met with many people from the state of Vermont. And, finished putting up sand. We're working on resurfacing. Did part of the Clark Mountain Road. Working on the Bonnin Road now. Probably do a whole lot of that in the coming weeks, and hopefully cut some edges and get to bush hogging as fall rolls in. And nothing, everything's been going pretty well.
Good.
We hire a man.
Oh yeah, I hired Jason. He was my only applicant, so I don't know if we should advertise again. So we can hopefully get some more applicants.
You're looking to hire another one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I with Dan getting done, leaving me with nobody, I find it would be beneficial to always have the 3 people. That way, if one gets done, hopefully you still got one.
That makes sense. It's your call, Mike. If you want to re-advertise it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
I see there's a couple other towns that are advertising for people as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is that it, Mike?
Yeah, I think I'm good unless you guys have anything.
Trucks running okay?
The trucks are good. The Western Stars at McDevitt's in Lancaster. Hopefully, it was just a couple of minor things. I had some antifreeze on the bottom of the radiator. I don't know where it came from, and I had some power steering fluid, and that was the power steering reservoir is cracked, so they're replacing that and hopefully finding where the antifreeze come from. And I had a exhaust leak under the cab. I think I remedied it, but I just wanted them to look at it to make sure the flanges on the pipes weren't damaged. But just minor stuff. It went down yesterday. I was hoping to have it back today, but I haven't heard from them. They had to order the oil reservoir for the power steering. It's all warranty stuff. And other than that, everything is pretty well.
Good.
Denise, you have something?
Not under roads, no? No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Mike, you got your sand all done?
Yes. Yeah, 30 loads less than last year.
I beg your pardon?
10 wheeler loads less than last year.
Oh, wow.
60
Great.
less from the year before.
All right. So moving on, if you guys have anything more from Mike?
No,
Nope, nothing here.
Okay. I don't either. Not from here. I just put some earplugs in because it's hard to hear you Mike being that far away from the speaker. So and it did help. So sorry if it didn't sound like I was paying attention. Next item up is the lister's position, third position. Do we have a recommendation on that?
Yes, they would like to recommend that Nicholas Smith, the same guy that put in his resume from last time, they feel that he would be a good fit.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we can appoint that position until the next election cycle, which would be in March.
right.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Nick, what's his last name again?
Smith. Smith?
Swift?
Smith.
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 Smith. Thank
That's
you.
right. Yeah.
Nicholas Smith to the position of lister.
I'll second that.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? He had quite a itinerary or whatever
Resume?
about what he had
Yeah,
done.
resume.
Resume, that's it. Good. Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on appointing Nicholas to the position as lister? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose no. Ayes have it. We now have a third lister. Thank you. I hope the listers are happy.
They will be.
Good. Moving on in the agenda, we have a request by organizations to waive the petition requirement for the 2021 town meeting warning due to COVID. And Denise and I talked a little bit about this. She called some other town clerks, and I think it made a lot of sense for this year. Do you want to just highlight that, Denise?
Sure. I talked to other petition towns. What they're proposing for this year only is if someone has been on the town meeting warning for the prior 3 years, as long as they meet the requirements of being on the warning for the last 3 years, they level fund and they provide the town with a financial statement that the other select boards are going to waive the petition requirement for this year only. If someone new wants to come on, obviously they'd have to get the signatures.
Yep.
Please clarify organizations. You said organizations have, what is organizations?
Like the Old Stonehouse Museum, the Council on Aging,
Umbrella.
RCT, Orleans County Citizens Advocacy.
Okay, so they requested this, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know what organizations was. Thank you.
Very good. Jerry, Rick, do you have any issues with that?
Nope.
Nope, sounds good.
I don't either. I thought it was good that we got a financial statement from them, and if they level fund, that means that there won't be an increase in spending. So I'll make a motion that we, with those criteria, is waive that petitions to get on town meeting.
For 1 year.
For 1 year, yes, just 1 year.
I'll second that.
This would be for the 2021 town meeting. All those in favor of motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose no. Hearing none, the ayes have it. Moving forward. We have sign orders, review and approve bank statements and journal entries. That obviously is going to be done by you guys at the town clerk's office. Sign the sergeant cemetery deed. That again is you guys down there. We got a quorum. And sign the tax map contract.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the reason that we have a new contract is because Russell Graphics, as you guys know, retired, sold his business to CAI Technologies. So he would like, we did a contract with Russell Graphics for a year ahead. So that's what he's asking for, $1,450.
Money is the same, correct?
Yeah, the money is the same. For next year, you shall pay $15 added. What did he say? The client shall pay an additional $15 building added charge. This will be no additional charge if property record cards are not provided, which we don't provide that. He just takes a copy of your grand list. So that's irrelevant. Yeah, and we got the tax map for this year and they're wonderful. They're perfect.
At the last meeting, we approved him for being our point person in that area. So
yeah, he did a great job on the tax map. So
okay, so all we're doing is just signing his contract.
Yes,
we've already approved it. Good. Anything else under administrative procedures at the town? Denise, you have anything?
I do not.
Okay. Moving forward, is there any unfinished or new business?
No, I have none.
I have none.
Okay, I don't either. Denise, you have anything?
No.
Mike, you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. We don't need an executive session. Maybe we will in October to talk with James about purchasing of land. But other than that, I don't have anything else. You guys?
Nope.
Nope.
No. All right, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are done. I am going to end the meeting. Thank you all for attending. Good to see you, James. Good to see you, Bob, Barry, and the LeMays are gone. So thank you, Ernest, for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Goodbye.